What are thinking tracks? Have you ever gotten the chance to walk in the park school woods or your neighborhood right after it snowed? Maybe you have seen animal tracks like these. Evidence that something was there. Clues about creatures that passed through. Well, your thinking as a reader is kind of like different animals passing through the woods. Your thoughts come and go all the time, and unless you look hard or try to catch them, they might just disappear unnoticed, like an animal silently passing through the woods. Thinking tracks are a reader's footprints, evidence of the different kinds of thinking they did while they were reading. They can be sticky notes left on the pages in a book, or a list of notes in a researcher's notebook. Thinking tracks are a quick code for different kinds of thinking you do when you're reading. Today, as we dive into our research in our animal groups, we are going to focus on just one of these thinking tracks. We are going to learn how to leave thinking tracks when we're learning something new, either adding to what we already know or changing what we thought we knew. So get ready to pay very close attention to your thinking while you're reading today. I'm going to model this for you in the rest of this video using an example of a researcher who is studying flamingos. This is what I've already done in my research. I activated my schema or my background knowledge by writing down what I think I already know about flamingos. Then I wrote down a few things that I was wondering before I started my research. I am ready to dive into my flamingo research. So I'm going to show you how to leave thinking tracks. This looks slightly different if you have a book that you can hold in your hand, like I have right here. When I leave thinking tracks in a book, I usually use sticky notes and leave them right on the page. But when I am reading a book on a screen, like you're going to be doing on Epic Books, I might keep my thinking tracks like a list in my animal research notebook. Since this is my first book that I'm reading about flamingos, I'm going to start right at the beginning and read the book through. So I'm noticing that in the table of contents, I can learn about what are flamingos, food, eggs and chicks. There's a glossary, which has important flamingo words. And there's a section called To Learn More, where I could find out about other books or websites to learn more about flamingos. And finally, there's an index, a list of topics, flamingo topics that I could search for in this book. Here I go. What are flamingos? Flamingos are tall birds with long necks and legs. They live in warm wetlands. This matches what I already knew about flamingos. Flamingos live in large groups called colonies. They wade together in water. I'm noticing some new learning. I'm going to take out a sticky note and I'm going to put it right here. And because the type of thought I'm having is new learning, I'm going to do an L with a little star. And the new learning has to do with this word colonies. I know that colonies means more than one colony. So I'm going to try to use my own words to describe what this important new word means. So I'm going to write colony equals or is the same as many flamingos I think that's enough. I'm also adding on or possibly changing something that I thought I knew by looking at this picture. We can get information from both the text or the words and the picture. And I'm feeling a little bit surprised that I don't see any birds in this picture standing on one leg. And that was something that I really remember from seeing at the zoo near my house in San Diego growing up, that flamingos would stand on one leg. So I'm going to just make a note of this thought right here. I'm going to take a second sticky note and I'm going to do the new learning symbol or thinking track, which is an L and a little star. It's also okay to do just an L or just a star. And I'm going to say, I notice that most of these flamingos are standing on two legs. You might notice I wrote a lot of words. I probably could have written this idea using fewer words, like standing on two legs. Let me show you what this would have looked like if I was reading this book on a screen. So I'll put it up there like it's a screen. I could just write the symbol right here, L star, because this is some new learning. And I'll just write a little note. Colony equals many flamingos. And here's another piece of learning. So I'm going to do the symbol again, a second thinking track. I'm going to write the shorter version this time, standing on two legs. And I'm underlining the two because that's where my thinking might be changing. Before, and I'll show you back where I wrote this, I thought that I knew that they usually stand on one leg. So that's something I will look for more evidence on. So now it's your turn. Take out your animal research notebook. Look on your reading group page to find out which text you will be using to record your first thinking tracks. Pay really close attention to new learning that is happening. That might be adding on to something you already knew or changing something you thought you knew. And get ready to share your thinking tracks with your reading group on Flipgrid.